Hello, comrades, and welcome to episode number 237 for the weeks of August 10th, 2014. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the
14?
Admiral. With what?
You said 14.
Oh,
No.
not 2014. It's 2024. Yeah, no, I'm EP. This is an EP cast.
You have to keep that, though.
We're
That's
gonna go
funny.
back in time. No, I'm here with Ogillies, you just heard, and that's Nicholas Wakefield, TJ Sakosio, Jacob Durbin, and Flying Yankee Productions. Welcome to the show.
It's a me.
It's a you. It's the person who has single-handedly recruited more Providence Northern members than I think anyone else since the club began.
You're welcome.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I was like, damn, it makes me want to spend more time there. All of the no time that I have, but there's a reason this episode is late, but it's okay. We are going to talk about New York City. We're going to talk about Amtrak. We're going to talk about Iowa. And as well as a little bit from California and the New York, Susquehanna, and Western. Oh, we're talking about New York twice. Different parts of New York. Actually, is the NYSW in New York or is it in New Jersey?
I
think it's in both.
Wait,
Then maybe Pennsylvania too. I don't know the Northeast.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really fumbled through the beginning of this podcast, but that's okay. The train will terminate at this station.
At the other station.
At this pool.
Because you didn't get to pick, you can introduce where we are.
We're in San Diego.
Okay.
It's San Diego train Union Station. You have Metro Transit Service light rail line in the background.
Thank you.
And Amtrak in the foreground and Coaster. And I'm mad, I'm pouting because I had a really cool rail cam and Ellis didn't use it, so I'm pouting.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah, because
time.
he wants to see people doing
Because
cannonball.
Ellis hates me and he
Yeah,
thinks I'm
cool.
terrible.
No, that's not the reason. Anyway, let's talk about Class 1s.
Let's do it.
Yeah, honestly though, just to go back to it for a second, I'm glad you covered what is on this cam, because I had no idea and I wanted to know. And this is the other reason I had you introduce it, because if anyone here was going to know off the top of their head what was on this rail cam, it was going to be you.
Well,
Uh,
I've been here, so.
well, I don't care how
I'm
you
goated.
know, I just expect you to know. You know things.
I'm just goaded like that.
You are. There's a reason why I
Goated
like
with
rail
the
fanning
flaw.
with you.
Well,
As long as I can hold the antenna.
no, you don't get to
Yeah,
hold
as
the
long as you
antenna
don't hit us
anymore.
Oh, well, you sure don't. Anyway, we had 3 derailments in the past couple weeks here. 2 were from BNSF and 1 was from Union Pacific. The first
One was from your mama.
yeah,
Sorry.
the first one was actually the Union Pacific wreck near Glidden.
Oh, get in Nebraska.
No, it's Iowa.
Oh, get in Iowa. I know where it is. I know what I'm thinking of.
Wait, why
Not-
did Jaden
Just
have a
don't
point
pronounce
already?
the L.
I don't know, man.
There's an L in it. It's Glidden.
I don't know. Maybe
Uh,
I'm wrong.
But they wrecked 36 cars of an intermodal train.
They wrecked. It was the
Really?
ZG2LT that they wrecked.
Damn. Which double stack train, 36 cars. That's
Yikes.
quick math says 72 containers got oofed.
Ooh.
Well, maybe that's 72 because I'm sure there were a few single stacks. I'm sure there were a few single stacks actually.
That's one container for every 12 people that live in Glidden.
in Glizzy, Iowa.
Yeah, in Glizzy, Iowa. That's what I was trying not to say.
Glizzy, Iowa.
So that's the Union Pacific wreck. Then we had 2 wrecks on BNSF on the same day. I'm fairly certain these are not the same wreck because the descriptions are different. Wilmar, Minnesota, and this one is in Red Oak. So BNSF crashed a train which just crushed a random SUV. A Rail Crew Express transportation vehicle was trapped under a derailed grain car in Red Oak Thursday morning. The driver was able to self-extricate. Yeah, that's good, because if there was anyone in the back seat, they were effing dead. It looks kind of horrendous. The other one doesn't have a picture, but it was 8 cars carrying ethanol. But the cars were not compromised, so no explosion. Yeah, for those rooting for Big Boom. Personally...
That is a little disappointing.
It is. I mean...
I'm in the pocket of Big Boom.
Yeah. There was a George Carlin special entitled I Kinda Like It When a Lot of People Die, or something, that was slated to be released very close to 9/11, and then 9/11 happened, so it was not released. Reworked and you know...
They should have released it.
Done much later.
What are they afraid of?
The Taliban? I don't know. But those are our 3 wrecks. Honestly, kind of a short Class 1 mantle of responsibility. CSX retains the mantle, which is a weird, bizarro world that we're living in right now. I don't know who to pick for best wreck between the 30-car pileup or the dropping a hopper directly on top of somebody's car.
I think that one.
I like the one involving the car.
Yeah, the car is pretty good. The picture is stellar. If you guys haven't looked at it, I suggest you look at it. It's the second article next to BNSF. I'll even show the audience, but of course, these articles are all accessible in the Cargos, which is linked in the description of this podcast. So, my vote goes to that. Does anyone have any dissenting votes?
I want to see the picture of the... Which one's the one with the curve?
It's the second, the second BNSF one. I'm realizing...
Said F this car in particular.
Also, Jader, we might want to clarify for the audience that you're currently in a hotel room in Cleveland.
Yes.
So that's why you sound like you're sort of in a bathroom.
Going down to Cleveland town, everyone.
Which
downtown's cool.
Detroit.
Downtown Cleveland is pretty cool. Jader, and just, you know, for the audience, right? You went and got a sandwich at a deli today that you thought was really good.
Yeah.
We cross-referenced. That is the deli that I've had the best Italian grinder I've ever had at. I was so excited to find out that you went to the same deli that I went to in Cleveland.
It was by pure chance, because I don't know, I'm the kind of person that, like, if I have the choice between a chain or some local place, I'm going to go to the local place.
Holy Moses.
And we were parked, you know, right next to a Subway, but like this deli is a block away around the corner. I'll just go to that.
Yeah. There were food trucks in the park, like, diagonal to that deli when I was there, and none of them really had anything good. So it's like, oh, let's just try this random deli. Gloria and I were starving. Let's just try this random deli. I don't know, sure, whatever. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Oh my god. What I would give to go back to that deli right now. Anyway.
I mean,
Can I go to your deli?
Yeah. I don't... Yeah, that
Can I
one.
have your deli meat?
I mean, if Ellis starts the deli, yeah, I'd go too.
Yeah. A free trading card with every purchase.
No, you get a sandwich with a purchase of trading cards. All right, so BNSF is getting the win that time. Congratulations, BNSF, on having the quote-unquote best wreck of the period. CSX, congratulations on being the current holder. Two fortnights running. And
Fortnite?
Yeah. $19 Fortnite
Whoa.
card.
Fortnite real?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, TJ, I have to ask, because I'm just ever so curious. 2 things. 1, did you hear that last thunderclap? Because that was one of the loudest thunderclaps I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy over here right now. I don't know where this came from, but it's cooling off. I can already feel it.
Oh, man, I should open a window. I'm toasting in here. But that was number 1. Number 2 is, what'd you do this weekend?
I don't know. What'd you do this weekend?
Well, I got in a car with no AC and sweltered all the way to Maine.
For Gritty McDuff's, of course.
Yes, for Gritty McDuff's. And also, you know, usefully. You know, just while we were there, right? We visited the WWF and went to the annual picnic. and had an absolute blast because, God, I love that place. This time has convinced me that I need to get my brakeman certification or something. I need to go through the rules class again and start to like try to work up the ladder because we've been going much more frequently than we ever have. And part of it is just it's so fun. Like the people are all great. I love having the cadre of folks somewhat our age that we can all just joke around and hang out. And we spent an alarming amount of time in the boxcar while the trains were running, just trading cards. Just
Nerd.
Actually trading cards.
Yeah, actually
Nerd
trading
alert.
cards.
Nice.
Like sitting on crates in the boxcar while the photo train was running, doing its run-bys. So we were in the boxcar during the run-bys. And,
that's awesome.
we'd have the doors open while we were going between locations. And when we had to go by the photographers, we'd close the door that faced the photographers. And we were just sitting there with our stacks of cards and, what do you want? What do you have? It was so much fun. And on top of that, getting to do the hobo thing in the boxcar, like, officially. And we did the Model T. Now, what was really interesting was, and TJ, you can take this storytelling torch from me whenever you want, but we were getting on the rail bus, and it was myself and TJ in the back seat, and Casey was in the front seat, and there were two people we didn't know in the middle. It's a 6-seater. And Cindy, the woman who runs the gift shop, tells her friend, "Go get on the rail car, get on the rail car." So we squish over in the back seat, so there's 3 of us in like a 2-person seat. And I went, like, this is uncomfortable, and I've ridden the rail car before. I asked the guy who was driving to let me out at top of the mountain. So they let me out at top of the mountain, and I just waited for the train. Like, the rail car went down to Trout Brook. The train was already down there. The train came up. They were doubling the hill. They had like a 6 or 5 car train, so they would bring up 2 cars and then bring up the following 3 cars. Very cool operation to see happen, right? But I was just like, I'll wait for the train. Like, I'll take the train back instead. And I love that about the WWF. Like, 90% of the time, if you ask to get out at an intermediate station, they'll let you, and then you can just get on whatever. If it's a ticket you don't have, just pay when you get back to Sheepscot. Now, I got on, and Mew was on that train because he couldn't squeeze onto the rail car with us. There were only 3 tickets left. Mew was on that train, and we hung out, and I chit-chatted with him and with Dan and some of the other guys. Rode back to Sheepscot. And then that night, we're all sitting at the table, and the woman that got on the rail car walked in, gets to talking with us, and then Mew recognizes her and says, "Oh, hey, NEB&W, right?" And apparently, he and I have operated with her at the model railroad that was at our college.
Oh, that's
Wow.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you went to school with Mew.
Yeah, that's another crazy thing. Like, that's a different story, but just how Mew and I reconnected, basically thanks to Heis, is hilarious. The other part of the story is, we were with Casey, who works for the DL, as a dispatcher, and she got in wicked late on Friday night to come up to the WWF with us. She got into here at like 4 in the morning, and then we got up at 6 to drive to WWF.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it was rough. Casey did not get many hours of sleep. And of course she
Did not get many sleep.
Yeah, did not get many sleep. She came in, and of course Lafayette is like, "Who's that?" Gets up out of bed, starts barking. Which, darn dog.
Being transphobic, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And
pretty much.
the drive up, she's complaining about how she had to wait for this late Adirondack beer train. They couldn't even go anywhere because they had like 20 trees down on the line and blah, blah, blah. And it's talking about them, and we, talk about that quite a bit that day. And then Daniel, or, Mew goes to the woman and says like, "Hey, didn't you volunteer for another railroad up there?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's the Adirondack." And the look on Casey's face was just like oh no. So, that was I just small world. I love that place to death. Uh, TJ, you actually missed a lot of the conversation afterward because I know you turned in pretty early on Saturday night.
What a
Yeah.
loser! No, I'm just
we
kidding.
we were talking like WNF politics, basically, just like the people on the board and what they want to do and this and that and what can we do and yada yada. Something that it doesn't need to be belabored here, but the point is the camaraderie is unbelievably fantastic. Did you have anything you wanted to add? Because I know we both had different experiences with all the time that we spent up there. You actually did photography on the photo train.
Yeah, well, I'll add a little bit. So, I've been helping out with the WWF's YouTube channel, trying to grow their audience, making some videos, and I've been there. This is the third time I've gone up to shoot videos for the YouTube channel, and this is by far the best one that I've done yet. I was really excited to get up there and shoot. The weather turned out to be perfect,
Oh yeah, that's the
and
other thing.
You're perfect, TJ.
and it just it worked out pretty nicely. The shots I got were getting a hold of the camera that I'm using. It's kind of it's kind of a guessing game a little bit because it's like a weird hacked camera. So now that I'm starting to wrap my head around how it works and what it likes and doesn't like,
Hmm.
I think I'm starting to figure out how to shoot some good stuff with it. I sent some screenshots in the chat. These are just some stills from various stuff I shot over the weekend. And
Oh, I just clicked on the first one first, and it's the first one that I clicked on was the picture of 701, and I went, "Wait a minute, that's not
Wrong
right."
engine.
Uh, yeah, this is God. I love the WWF so much. These
I love you
stills,
so much, Ellis.
they sort of look a little gray, but I know it's just because
Yeah.
they're stills from a video.
yeah, they're in logs, so the saturation is way down. Like the color depth is like really low.
Well, and you got
Is
your
my mic working?
ticket refund. Yeah, your mic's working.
Okay, I just had to make sure.
You got your ticket refunded too, which was very funny because you bought the tickets for the photo special, and then you got an email that one of them was kicked back to you because it's like you're on official WWF business.
Yeah, that was really exciting. It's I'm glad they're enjoying my work as much as I'm enjoying doing the work. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to see how it goes. We have some plans for future stuff to kind of get away from the traditional rail fanning video because there's only so many WWF rail fan videos you can make before everybody, kind of checks out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So-
they're all fun. They're all cool to watch. I love watching 9 or in this case 4, dressed up as Kennebec Central 4. Go up the mountain as much as the next guy, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the ideas that we've had and that you've had about what to do in the future.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know how many people can say this about their museum, but we just found some new. We, not me, obviously, someone who works very hard in the archives, found some new history on the railroad.
Ooh.
And so there's a whole binder now with all kinds of new history and new stories that nobody's ever heard before. Like nobody in this, I mean, nobody in this generation at least
Yeah.
has heard before. And there's some really interesting stuff, and there's a lot of stories that I'll say a collective we, because there were like 10 of us there talking
Yeah.
about it. Think that they need to be told. So I want to try to do some of that in my free time start making some more episodic, more interesting content. About more in-depth stuff about the trains, because everybody knows what the WWF is at this point.
You
Yeah,
gonna bring the heat, AJ?
What's the WWNF?
Yeah, what is the WNF?
would you
Not
like to
familiar.
know more? No, you need to. It was Casey's first time up there, and we came away from it, and she's going, I get it now. Like I understand, and I said, yeah, most people when you go to the WWF, they get it, you know. And I really love seeing the videos that TJ's been making circulating on just random Discord servers. It's like yes, publicity, yes, I love this.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, there was like 750-ish subscribers when I started helping out a few months ago, and now we're already above 1,200, slightly above
Wow.
1,200, like 212 or something like that.
Line go up.
But yeah, it's great to see people responding to it. It's not just like, us making videos into a void, which is great.
Yeah. When do you think we go next? I mean, we've
Tomorrow?
checked August off the list. There's probably something in September. October, we've got the work weekend. That's the 12th and 13th. Almost certainly going to be there for that. And
Yeah.
beyond that, like the WMNF is like the one. They are the single greatest driver of trading card creation, because I sold so many packs while I was up there that I'm going to need to reevaluate how many I have in stock now, and probably start working on the 5th batch by the end of the year. I can talk about that a little bit more in Maintenance of Way, but I don't have a firm date on when it's going to go out, but it's going to go out as a poll, just like Batch 4, to, hey, to the Discord, which you can join the Discord in the description. You can also visit theironhorseman.com to see what I'm talking about. What do you think the next batch should be about? And then we'll go and create from there. Also, a reminder to the winners of the Royales this past season: you each get a nomination for a future card that will be included either in a People's Choice batch or in whatever batch that we can squeeze it into before then. So that's a reminder to anyone that participated in that. All are welcome to the Discord to participate in the local games, to potentially join into this podcast, and all that jazz. So
You like jazz?
I like jazz. The Newport Jazz Festival was a couple weeks ago, and I understand that it was very fun. Didn't get to go though. Where did you get to go, Jader?
I've been down to Hocking Valley a couple times recently since I was last on. Still getting some student engineer time, and still trying to wrap my head around the 24 break schedule on our GP7. It's kind of a pain. Yeah.
What's the pain about it?
It doesn't have pressure maintaining like our GP10 does. So if you, let's say you set 5 pounds or something to slow down, you have to go and lap the brake. It won't lap itself.
Oh,
And
okay.
sometimes I forget to do that quick enough, and then, oh shit, I took 10 pounds. We're really gonna slow down.
Are
That's
you
just,
training for engineer?
yeah,
Oh shit.
That's pretty great.
learning how to run the thing.
That's
Let's go.
Jader,
I like
you are experiencing what everyone experiences in Derail Valley when they unlock the steam engine or the DM3, because they have non-self-lapping brakes, and it's like it's the exact same
Yeah.
problem. So I know exactly your pain in the digital space.
Yeah, and well, I mean, this is really a pain. I like it. 5833 has I think every diesel does, at least our diesels do it. That when you get up to a certain speed, it'll transition. It allows you to have more torque at higher speed. And on our GP10, it just does it automatically. You don't have to do anything. And normally we don't go fast enough; it's not a problem. But then 50 at 33, it'll do it somewhere. Like sometimes it does it at 15, sometimes it does it at some other speed, and you have to really listen to it because you can hear the engine start to struggle. You go to idle, but then you can't put the power back too quickly. Like I did a couple weeks ago, where you blow a bunch of smoke and then make the engine angry.
Oh,
But that's more fun to do that. Looks
Well,
cooler as a foamer.
I mean, it does look cool. I mean, that thing will smoke at all. Like, I mean, come visit. It'll smoke.
I'd love
It'll
to
do
visit.
it.
We got to do
Yeah,
Ogden
come
Valley.
visit.
Just take my locomotive there in spirit, and it will be there. I'll be there in spirit.
You know what?
Take my locomotive there and photograph it, and I'll be there in spirit.
I mean, if I had it in the cab, it would smell. It would probably, and had the door open. It might smell like diesel by the time it gets back to you.
It comes back with that authentic scent. That's what I want out of my models.
Amen, brother.
I
So,
might actually do that with my 50. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
but I take it you've been working on models for Achilles then?
Yes, he
Yeah.
has.
And here,
Yeah, I have a picture of it in the chat. All the paintwork's done. So like I think still some touch up here and there. Then I gotta weather it, and then
ESU needs
put
to stop
the-
having skill issues.
Yeah, I love ESU decoders, but I swear if you look at them wrong,
Yeah,
or connect one wire slightly incorrectly, it'll just die.
it'll fry. They're very
Yeah.
sensitive.
damn.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like. But I shipped that off, I think sometime last week. Still haven't gotten it back yet, but I'll find that. But we'll see. If not, then I might just order another decoder or something. But we'll figure it out.
I need my model
Uh,
approximately yesterday. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Pounds
wow.
table.
I need it now.
No,
Give me
no,
pictures of
It's
MPLS.
my model and I need it now.
no.
What's this other thing you've been working on?
That's a project I've had going for about 2 years at this point. Started working on it, kind of lost interest in it because the running boards on the site, they're modified from where they are in the original,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of held on by a little bit of brass strip that secures it that sort of holds it to the boiler, and a lot of super glue and just vibes.
It just
Oh my
looks
God,
like epoxy.
That's all putty.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna die on this hill. The Bachmann, the modern Bachmann 280, not the old crap from the 90s. But the modern Bachmann 280 is God's most kit bashable HO 280.
Honestly, I saw this thing and I saw, hey, look, power reverse on a consolidation. I haven't seen that since Engine G.
It does in fact have power reverse. But I put a picture of the prototype. It's supposed to be, I'm leaning towards 701. I'm not sure because there were a couple classes of these that were basically the same. And there's like hardly any good pictures of these online unless you use a photo from the CNO archives that's like 4 pixels, which works. And I have a book on these, but there's maybe 10, like maybe 8 photos of 701 because it still exists, and then maybe 5 or 6 pictures of the other ones that largely stayed in Ohio.
Yo, down in Ohio,
So not
Oh yeah,
really
there's
sure
the photo of
which ones
701.
tipping into
get.
the brain rot.
Yeah,
Picture
the only
related.
difference is the only difference is the tender, but it had a shorter tender like that at one point with the goofy coal boards.
Yeah, it looks like 3025's tender a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Anyway,
But but that's like the decoders in it. It runs. The lights work. I just need to paint it, and it's really satisfying because, like I said, it's been in progress for about 2 years at this point.
Hmm. Yeah, I I just love to see the stuff you put together because kit bashing in and of itself is so so darn cool. Uh, you know, just throwing stuff together. More into uh, I've gotten much more into kit bashing buildings and trains. Just like slamming a bunch of buildings together to make a cool looking mill or whatever. And I love the spirit. I love the spirit of making do. Right.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's so fun.
oh right. I did. Julius, did you have anything to add? I see the only thing you've written down is about the models. So.
Well, I had one other thing that I wanted to talk about, but Ellis stole it from me.
Oh, okay.
So,
You're welcome.
no, I just I'm getting a lot more enjoyment out of model trains these days.
Well, what a
I don't
nerd.
After all the rail fanning shit that's happened, with rail fans, I don't really feel like rail fanning much anymore.
Yeah, I know. I
Which
I
is what I
ruined.
wanted to talk about, but
I ruined
you
rail
know,
fanning for you. I'm sorry.
oh, it's okay.
It's because of people like us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Achilles,
terrorists.
We're,
just
are, are we the
pay
baddies?
$25 a year to run the thing. I am a baddie. What are you talking about?
All right.
showing up, showing up, putting on horse masks. Uh, what is this is Mew here. This is what we get up to at the WWF. It's a very serious operation.
And see, the forum supports it. See,
Yes.
the lurkers online support us. It's okay.
Uh, Meanwhile, Yankee was holding down the fort back at the Providence Northern.
Was. Yes, so I was last weekend, I was introducing two/three of my very good friends who I met up at who I met up with at Edaville a few weeks ago for the first time. They came, swung by, they signed up, uh, and they ran some of their trains. Now one of them had a Broadway limited 1218. The other one had I believe it's a Precision Craft T1.
Hmm.
Very cool. And then I was kind of shadowed, to be honest with you. I only ran my RS3. Or well, I did run my 470, but I mostly ran the RS3 because that was when everyone kind of left, and I was just kind of left to myself. And I was like, well, I don't want to leave yet, so I might as well just run this.
Use
Um,
your own devices.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And uh, not next weekend, but a few weekends in the future, I will be introducing yet another one of my good friends to the Providence Northern, and he's going to sign up too. So, um,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to get a. So I have a handful of just groups like DM groups, and I've been trying to consider a way to create some server architecture to move DM groups into the main Discord in a way that sort of makes sense to everyone and is just as functional. I don't know, but we need a. My point is, we need a Providence Northern group of some description for all these folks. Especially now that we had like half a dozen WWF people join the Discord within like a week, and now we need that. You need to get all your PN friends in here, and we'll see who else might come around.
I think
But yeah, I'm glad you're going because the more trains that run for the general public, the better it is on a Saturday, and I'm just glad you're going in general. I
always fun.
I love the Providence Northern. I wish I could spend as much time there as I did, when I was your age. Uh,
Um,
but you got some other long-term projects that you're working on, right?
yeah, I do. So the first one, which I just recently started, is a I don't really have a I'm not good with names, but I just call it the B&M passenger car project. Basically, so back this story goes all the way back to Amherst, this year's Amherst.
Woo.
I went and grabbed a Boston and Maine, I think it's Boston and Maine Historical Society DVD from like the 1940s of just a big collection of just Boston and Maine clips and everything. It's got great narration and everything. It's amazing. I love it. Uh, and in that DVD, there were a lot of B&M streamlined cars. I think they're Pullman standards. They look very nice. The B&M did. I think it was B&M and
Hmm.
M and Main Central kind of. They had the same thing going on, but they look pretty. If I can put up, if I can find a picture, I'll put it up. But they
So yeah,
had
I'd
some.
love to see that.
They had some nice looking streamlined passenger cars. So
Ooh.
yeah. So I found a. I actually was able to. I think it was the other day. I was able to snag one off of eBay. It's not in that exact scheme. That's what I want. All of the like 10 or so cars that I eventually want to have. Um, and I want to recreate the since the the actual Flying Yankee, like the train set and the Streamliner, since those are so unbelievably hard to find or very expensive,
Hmm.
I've decided to instead make the Flying Yankee service between, I think it was uh, like Boston to Portland, I think, or something like that. But yeah, and they mostly used, I think they were, or at least in my DVD, it was mostly um, E units and streamlined cars. So
Hmm.
I have
Hmm.
been, I've been kind of making up a list of uh, streamlined passenger cars on eBay, mostly Walthers, Pullman Standard, the corrugated cars. Uh, and yeah, eventually I want to make them all look like that, and I want to have a nice little. Eventually, I also want to get an E unit to run them all with, so I will
Nice.
eventually have a nice little Boston and Maine / Maine Central consist to run at the PN.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We, we,
So
we we love matching passenger train in this house.
This actually made me look it up, by the way. The Flying Yankee was between Boston and Bangor. Uh,
bang, yeah, that
yeah,
was it. Yeah,
as far back
Hardly
as
more.
1891. So that's really cool.
yeah, very cool. If I can find the for the next project and the final thing that I will say here is very very special, very exciting project that I have coming up. I like to call it Project Empress or the Final Spike Steam Tour HO Scale project or whatever. It's the project of like 700 names.
Hmm.
But basically, I pre-ordered the Rapido 2016 models, which should be coming soon, from what I've heard. Probably by the end of this month and beginning of next month, which is very exciting. They look nice, actually. Because I think the project pictures are all buried, so I think I have a picture of the yeah, there we go. I have a picture of the 2016 model for you guys to look while I try and find uh
Ooh.
my last project photo that I have.
Ooh.
But yeah, they look very nice. And I've been slowly kind of chipping away at finding because eventually, sorry, I didn't even explain it. Basically, after I get 2016, I want to eventually get the entire Final Spike Steam Tour consist because I was very fortunate. This May, I was able to make it to Kansas City to go see um, the tour there, their big display that they had there. And they may or may not have departed 3.5 hours late. And when they departed, I may or may not have been blocked by an intermodal train, but that's fine. We don't have to talk about that.
So you're just trying to recreate it in model form, so you can get the angle set up and have the and
Yep.
film it and be like, no, this is what it would have been like. Oh,
Yep. My dream goal is to find like an area on the PN that's like similar to the setup there, and I can finally get that shot that I've been wanting so badly. Uh, but yeah, I've been.
don't worry, I definitely won't show up and drive a freight train in front of it.
I was thinking about because I have a little fun uh model train series that I make with friends of mine where we grab funny clips from like streams and whatnot that we've had, like gaming streams and whatnot, and we
Mhm.
put them over model train clips and they make a big funny story. I've thought about making like having something that kind of references the that part of the Kansas City trip, which that might happen. That might happen. But I have been slowly. There it is. There's the kind of checklist that I have. So obviously there's the which also credit to Andy Fletcher who made this poster. Um, he makes really good posters. Um, and yeah, so I have obviously 2016. I have found there's I think it's Milestone 93 models. I think that's what they're called. A they're making a water tender kit for 2816. So I've got that one. Not sure what I'm going to do about the other water tender, which I think is 4449s. I'm sure I'll be able to find one eventually. I don't know about the SD70. That's just if I can find it. Want to get the F units too, but those are kind of hard since I think the only company that really made good ones was Rapido like 10 years ago, and they're all gone. But I've been, and then I also have the two passenger cars out of the like 15 or so. I have a baggage car and a combine car, which actually I tested the combine car at the club last weekend, and it there's still some things that need to be kinked out and whatnot. But apart from that, it's going. Eventually, I'm gonna get them all paint matched when I get my 2016 model, and then hopefully someday, don't know when, but hopefully someday I will have the full consist and I'll be able to yeah, like I said before,
Yeah.
get that precious shot.
Yeah,
Um,
it's gonna be amazing when you get this thing done. Honestly,
yeah,
I
I
love
am.
mega projects and I love putting together a whole contest like this. So I wish you luck with finding all these pieces. I know some of the biggest hurdles you've already covered, but there's gonna be still some stuff. I mean, the whole coach set is gonna be. That's a lot of observation
Yeah.
cars in that coach set.
Yeah, and the thing is that CPKC has like it would be easy because I like you know, it's easy to find observation cars that look like those. But then CPKC has like perfectly smooth rounded roofs.
Hmm.
And it's like it's so weird because they're like heavyweights. I'm pretty sure they're all heavyweights, but they have that perfectly smooth roof. I've considered either doing it myself or 3D printing a new roof or
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. I've got a few cars sprinkled through here that are on a list. I think the next car that I'm going to try to go for is the dome car, Selkirk,
Mm-hmm.
because I know Rapido is making those, which I think they're going to be releasing quite soon. So I gotta start saving up my pennies to try and see what I can scramble to put towards one. But that's
Yeah.
probably going to be the next car that I'm going to go for.
The Big E will be here sooner than you think. All right.
Yeah, I gotta.
Can you
We
believe it, guys?
Yeah, just a week away. Just 160 days away or so. Anyway, uh, with that wrapped up, sorry, we are. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Oh no,
we've
of course I
we've
understand.
we've done an awful lot of rambling in local service today. We've had a lot of stuff backed up you've been doing great stuff, and Jade, you've been doing great stuff, and the WWF is always fun. So, it is time for
Okay.
the ASMR Locomotive versus. All right, actually, I got the photos already, just because I wanted to be ahead of the ball a little bit. We are throwing 3713 at something I was annoyed with. I don't remember why I was annoyed with the Royal Hudson, but here we are again. I don't know if we've done this one before. I don't think so, but I remember the Royal Hudson being a particular thorn in the side of Locomotive versus for a very long time. So here it is up against the Mega Pacific. I will open the floor to whoever wants to represent what. I know what I would represent, but Achilles is muted, and so I'll just take the other one.
I think you're probably best equipped to do 3713.
I probably am, but I want to. If Yankee wants to do 3713, I'll let him do it, and I'll take the other one.
I think I'll spectate.
You'll
for
spectate?
that.
Okay. Okay, well, does anyone want to be on the receiving end of 3713 then?
Yeah, okay.
Alright, Jader.
All right.
Jader, I appreciate you.
Very-
The
So
Canadian
I'm
Pacific.
representing 3713, or wait, no. I'm
you-
representing the H1D.
Yeah. So
Right? Okay.
I'll take 3713, you can take the H1D. That is the, H1D, so that's whatever loco base that is. It's not the first one. This is a P4 or a P-4. I mean, anyone who's been around a while has seen 3713 come around more than a few times. It's a favorite of
That's a cool
mine,
picture.
and I just want them to restore it already. Come on. Freedom Train. The Constitution. It writes itself.
Mango gobbles.
But Jader, I'll let you go first because, well, you're not the biggest friend of the H1D after all. If it was
I
a
don't know, I
C&O
kinda
thing,
like
I'd be
it.
a little bit more scared.
Yeah, that is true. If I had like the L2As or something, you'd be in danger.
Oh, would I be?
Or like an F19 or something.
Oh, well,
But-
we can cue that up later. But no, I'd
Next week on the Terminus podcast. I'm just trying to find a picture of this damn thing.
I got your
Here we
picture.
go. Oh,
Hi, Julius.
well, I like this picture.
Okay.
I'm posting it anyway. Okay,
I'm waiting to see it. There it is. What is it? Oh, wow. That is
All right.
definitely a picture. That's actually a great picture. That's a great condition for it. Doing it in that condition, there's probably a few more style points you can get in that condition versus it in the museum. So,
That's a sweet.
Yeah,
pick.
screw it.
yeah.
Let's do it in that condition.
All right. Yeah, let's go. It's a cool
Shiny.
shot. You've got a picture
All right,
that's in black and white. I've got a picture that sort of looks like it's in black and white, unless you notice the grass. It's a little scrub grass. All right, Jader.
Okay, how many number built?
Oh. Just going straight for the cheap shot, huh? No, it's okay. 10.
40.
40. Wow. Okay.
Number in class.
Number in class 10.
40.
40. All right. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I'm curious about this one. I don't know much about these engines though. This might be my undoing. You're built.
You're built. The 3713 was built in 1934.
Oh, okay. 1937.
37. Okay, you're a little bit newer. Just a touch.
That's newer than I thought for you.
Nice, you got a lot of lead.
Yeah, stretch that lead out as much as you can.
Let's see. Mm,
No, these are
Sorry.
interesting engines.
yeah. That's a wash, probably. Driver diameter.
Driver diameter. Oh, I was hoping you'd call this 80.
Oh, nuts. 75.
75. Yeah, I just proportionally, I thought you were going to be in trouble with that. I was going to call driver diameter if I got the opportunity, but I think it means a lot. Let's look
Nuts.
at now. The question is, what do I actually have a leg up in? Let's try tender fuel capacity.
Uh, wait. Tender fuel capacity. I think these are tons. 21 tons.
You got 21 tons in that tender? Wow. I only have 18 and a half. I did not
Hell.
expect that. I looked at these tenders. I thought I had a much larger tender than you. Okay. Well, you got that point. It's 4-1.
All right. All right. Water capacity.
Water capacity, I've got 12,000 gallons.
14,400.
Okay. 5 points against 1.
Hmm. This might be telling. Let's see. Minimum weight of rail.
Minimum weight of rail, I feel like this is going to tell. 116 pounds per yard.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
104.
104, yeah. Pacific size, mega.
Ouchie. Boiler pressure.
Boiler pressure, I am 260.
275.
I'm actually kind of surprised you're not all the way up there at 300. I expected to lose that, but not by that little. Okay, 7-1.
Let's see. Cylinders.
Cylinders. Okay, my cylinders are 23 by 28.
22 by 30.
Oh boy, math time. Hold on. Go to the local Royale thing, which I've eliminated a lot of stuff. It's just tools now. So I'll go in the first row. You can go in the second row. Let's see. 23 by 28.
Come on, computer.
28. I got 2
I'll use a
cylinders.
surf liner on the cam.
Damn, I'm missing it. Ooh, I won by a nose. Okay, 23,200 cubic inches versus 22,700 cubic inches. Okay,
Nuts.
I'll take that. What is your tender loaded weight?
288,650.
All right, 240,800. Okay, I'll take that one, and then I won't know what to do because.
Oh, that's a text I've been waiting to get for a long ass time. Anyway, good news soon, TM, but I can't talk about it.
Ooh, I like good news. Not that, none of that. That doesn't help. What is your loco base ID?
5,875.
God. All right, 131.
Ah.
All right,
Ow.
I'm already grasping at straws. That's never good. Let's take a gander. What is your combined heating surface?
Let's see. 5,431 square feet.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, I'm so hosed. 4,814 square feet. So
Ouch.
you got that one. This is a Hudson. It's easy to forget. This is a Hudson, and I'm in a Pacific.
It isn't. It is in fact a Hudson.
Yeah, the Mega doesn't help me that much. Okay, carry on. It's your turn.
What's your superheating surface?
966 square feet.
Ouch. 1,640 square feet.
Oh, okay. There's all your space.
What's your evaporative heating surface?
My evaporative heating surface is 3,848.
God damn it. 3,791.
Yes. Okay.
Wow.
By a nose. I'm getting points by the littlest bit. Okay. It's 5-9. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch this up because there's not a lot that I could do, honestly. What about what is I need to look at your locomotive more closely and make an assessment here. But what do I have an advantage in? What is your ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase? Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm looking at the right one. 0.33.
Yes, 0.38. Okay,
That's
0.38. Okay.
yeah. You have larger drivers.
Yeah, 6 against 9, and I've got one less set of wheels. You know,
That is true.
I'm thinking. Okay, Pacific versus Hudson. What do I have? What can I use? What is your engine wheelbase?
39.5 feet.
39.5. Mine is 36.92.
There's the extra wheel.
Yeah, there's the extra wheel. 7 to 9. Let's see. Oh, I can close out this extra tab now. What is your... That's not going to do me any favors. Actually, what is your overall wheelbase?
80.52 feet.
77.58. It is 8 to 9. It's 8 to 9.
Nuts.
What am I going to do? I don't have like an overwhelming amount of style points. Honestly, I think I lose in style points. But I'm trying to claw this back. I just don't know if I can. There's only a couple of things I think I can roll the dice on, and none of them are very good. That's not going to be good, because that's always good with the Canadian engines. Let's do tubes then. I've got to gamble.
Tubes.
Tubes.
All right, tubes. I have 58 tubes at 2¼ inches in diameter.
And okay, I have 203 tubes at 2¼
That's a lot more tubes.
It's a lot of tubes. Yeah. Okay, it's 9 to 9. I've got to roll the dice on something that I'm above par on, but I'm just worried. It's definitely not that. Power MT. I'm going to lose this so bad. Power MT is going to be bad for me.
All right, 1860.77.
That's absurd. I hate the Canadians. We've just dropped their microphone in a glass of ice.
Oh, sorry, I'm messing with a bag of chips.
Okay. 1,149. Damn it.
Ooh,
I don't know
ouch.
why. Everything was telling me not to do that. And I was like, yeah, but my number's good. Okay, well, you've got one more before you can go to style points.
Okay.
But I think you can get way more than 1 point.
It's attractive effort.
Ooh, I was worried about this one. Tractive effort is 40,918.
I have 45,254.
I bet if your drivers were as big as mine were, you would not. Alright. 11 to 9, Jader. You've hit 20 points.
I almost want to do this one, but I don't want to get... Yeah, let's go style points.
Okay, let's go to style points. Alright, we gotta run through Judge's Choice first. Ogillies, TJ, and Flying Yankee each get one stat call. What'll it be from yous? We've called...
Mine's going to be minimum weight of rail. Did we call that one?
Yeah, we called minimum weight of rail.
No, wait.
Yeah, we did. Mine was
Wait, yeah,
116,
we did.
yours was 104.
You're right.
Yeah. I suffered. 2 mega. Ogillies, Yankee?
Boston and Maine.
What? I'm asking for your Judge's
For the
Choice.
B&M. Oh, my bad.
Did you do factor of adhesion yet?
Oh, I don't want to, but I can.
We did not.
Oh. My factor of adhesion
Let's
is,
see.
Okay then.
is 5.12.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
Wow. 4.13.
Oh my god, it's so good. The Canadians are really
How?
good at building engines, and that's why this thing was the son of a gun. And yeah, you can quote me on that. It doesn't mean I respect them, but they're good. Uh, Honestly, though, I love the Jubilees. Um, I've never had a distinct hatred for Canadian engines. They've just sort of been a thorn in my side in locomotive versus sometimes.
Ooh, here's another picture of it.
Okay, O'Gillies or TJ?
Um, driver dynamic.
We did that. I can tell you which ones we didn't do. We haven't done builder, valve gear, driver wheelbase, axle loading, weight on driver's engine weight, total weight. We haven't done. We've done everything in the geometry category. We haven't done flues. We haven't done flue tube length, firebox area, grade area.
Yeah, we'll do builder.
Builder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Jader, what's yours? I want to know
Uh,
first.
The Montreal Locomotive Works.
Okay, I need to check the rules. I'm a Lima built engine. Or Lima, or Ligma, or whatever you want to call it. You said yours is Montreal?
Yes.
That is just above Lima. It's in the Alco category. So yeah. You get the point on me there. O'Gillies? Also, none of the power comps except for MT have been.
I'm here. What
Yeah.
stats haven't been called yet?
Right, just listed all of them.
To
Oh.
run through it again really quick. Valve gear, driver wheelbase, axle loading.
Driver
Wait-
wheelbase.
Oh,
That one.
thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Driver wheelbase for me is 14 feet even.
13.17 feet.
Yeah, I knew you're going to beat me out with the littler drivers. Okay. Well, it's 14 to 9. I'll see if I can run through a few style points to play catch up, but I don't actually know what I have available, and you've got a lot of style points. I 3713 is operated in preservation, right?
No.
No,
Uh,
no.
No, I
It
don't
was
think so.
preserved, but Blount never got to run it.
Soon TM.
Yeah, no, I'd love it. I'd love it.
What's something?
And I didn't pick a picture with the smoke deflectors, otherwise I would be picking that. Son of a gun. What do I have? I've got polling pockets. Okay. Take a point for polling pockets.
Do I have?
No, not in this condition you don't. You've got, oh wait, are those polling pockets?
I don't know.
It doesn't
let me look closer.
look like it, no. What is this? Oh, it's a noodle. I'm testing the pasta. Needs a little bit more time, but it's almost there. Thank you. I've got smoke box hinges, so I've got that going for me.
Yeah, I don't know how mine opens.
I honestly, I've been looking at it. I also don't know.
How do you clean the ashes out? You don't.
Yeah, carefully or poorly. I don't know. I might have to throw in the towel because I don't think I can catch up on style points. It's going to be 11 to 14. I'm going to be stranded. There's stuff that I bet I have.
see.
Like I know I have thermic siphons, but I bet you do too.
Let me read the thing.
Yeah, I've got thermic siphons. I've got arch tubes. I've got a feed water heater, but I bet you have all of those.
Let's see.
Oh, I've got a name. I've got that going for me.
I also have the name Royal Hudson.
That's your class name, you son of a gun. But
Oh,
yes, that's
yeah.
true. You got a nickname.
I'll give you that.
Okay, 12 to 15. I'm trying to catch up here. The way I would love to do it in Locomotive Versus is just let the person behind catch up and then go back and forth like it's like a knockout sequence. But I honestly don't know where I could catch up. I'm so hosed. Does yours say anything about thermic siphons, arch tubes, or feed water heaters?
Not that I can. Well, that's just the H1C and D. Let me look at the H1Es. I'm just curious, but I don't see one. I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
let me look because I want to know because that would be some decent that'd be
I
some
would.
decent things, but I wouldn't be like I'd be surprised if you didn't have any of those things.
Hmm. Do you have a booster?
I do have a booster, yes.
Okay, I
I,
also have a
I don't think
booster.
my booster tractive effort is listed, but I know I have one. Um,
Do you have an all-weather cab?
no, no, I do not.
Okay.
Uh, so you can run up the score on me if you want.
I have that. Uh,
I have more lighted number boards. I've got 3 and you've got 2.
3.
Yeah, there's a third one
Where's
at the
the third?
top of the smoke box.
Is that lighted?
I think it's actually. I've always thought it was, but it might not be. It might just be painted.
I don't know.
No, I
Maybe.
guess not. It doesn't. I don't know
I was
for
gonna say
certain, so
I
I'm
don't.
not gonna press the issue because I don't know for certain.
1, 2, oh yeah.
But I would have 3 if I had that one. Either way, it's a wash for lighted number boards in the case. Honestly, I'm surprised that the Royal Hudson
I get a
doesn't
point.
have the third one at the top of the. Oh, it does in the modern condition, but then it doesn't have the 2 on the side
Yeah.
of the stack, which is really interesting. I can't believe I didn't get one with the elephant
Does
ears.
the goofy stack count?
My goofy stack or Jader's goofy stack?
Your goofy stack.
What is my goofy stack? Is it like a?
Yours is it's like kind of stretched
Yeah, I just don't know
horizontally.
why.
Is it a double?
No, it's not a double.
No?
It looks sort of like
Huh.
the big fat chimneys they stuck on UP locomotives.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it does anything special or if it's just kind of big.
What if we just burned the shit coal?
Yeah,
It's a different thing.
but I'm gonna throw it in here. I'll go in at 12 to 16 so that we don't stretch this out because again we're over time. We made up a little bit of time. We're playing the Amtrak game. Um,
Making up time is fun.
yeah. But yeah, I'll give this to the Canadians. I remember once upon a time we found that the kryptonite for the H1D was I think the blue goose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we didn't even get into like power stats. I feel like I would have got thumped in power stats. Um, no two ways about it. And then weight stats, I probably was heavier. I mean, just off the cuff, how heavy was your locomotive? I know my tender was lighter than yours.
Locomotive. Let's see. 354,000 pounds even.
354 even. Mine was mine was actually 339. I would have won by a nose in engine weight. So
Man,
maybe I should
you'd
have
be
sprung
close.
for the weight points, but I was scared of them. Anyway, so yeah, winner is the H1D by the points, which is 16 to 12, and TJ and Ogilvy. I know Ogilvy has already said the B&M thing. Yankee and TJ, I feel like I know which one you're voting for out of these two. It's just a preference vote, basically.
I'm gonna have to vote for the Constitution.
Yeah, America.
Yep.
TJ. TJ.
I don't know where TJ is.
Ogilvy said dinner and disappeared, but I already know where his is. I don't know what happened to TJ. Yeah, I'll just mark one down for me and call it a day. But anyway, P4 by the votes. I'll say 2-0, and we can change that later. I don't really expect a pity vote for the Canadian Pacific, but you never know. I'm still wondering what the heck happened here. We lost 2/3 of the podcast, or like 2/5 of the podcast, just like in an instant.
I've always had a soft spot for Canadian Steam.
It's not bad. Like, it's kind of neat. They did cool stuff. They had the Newfie Boys also.
They did in fact have the Newfie Boys.
If
and
we had
the G5s.
if we had the Canadian, I feel like we have so much of a soft spot for Canadian Steam because so much of it ran in the Northeast, thanks to F. Nelson Blount, for so long.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, lest I forget that 3254 is Canadian, right?
I just got an idea.
What's that?
For perhaps a future what's it called?
A versus?
Help me out here. Yeah, for another versus.
What's that?
The CNR, I forget the class name, but the 47.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's the 464Ts versus the Boston and Albany 466Ts.
Ooh,
oh, that'd be fun.
I think that would go poorly for the Canadians. I'll tell you what. The 466s were kind of beasts, but yeah. I mean, I'll write it down because we've got the space. But CN, that's the X10A, I believe.
I think that's right. Yeah,
is 47 versus the double ender, the BNA double ender. Some of the, I think maybe the only people to use the 466 arrangement, because none of the bogies, none of like the Mason bogies had a four-wheel leading truck. But let's see, what's the easiest thing to jump to out of here? Actually, Jader, no, I want to hear about this this PUM, the pop-up metro. What is a pop-up metro?
Well, a pop-up metro, it's backed by the Rail Development Corporation, and it's basically, like, let's say a community wants to put in a, metro rail system, but they don't know if they want to actually try the thing without fully committing to buying equipment and building platforms and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they can lease out, or this organization can lease out everything that the community would need, including the train cars themselves, the station platforms, training and maintenance for the crews, battery charging equipment, because these are battery electric trains.
Cringe.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised we aren't talking about the MBTA battery electric stuff.
We're gonna wait for Walters Problem to do battery electric trains too. But yeah, this company will lease out everything that you need to see if a metro rail system is going to work. Columbus, Ohio, take notes, please. Just go strong arm Ohio Central into doing something.
With steam.
They run like 2 trains a day on the Columbus and Newark line, as far as I know.
Just give a metro
Maybe 4.
contract to the Age of Steam Roundhouse and say go for it.
I'd like to think that if Jerry was still if the Ohio Central was still private, or if Jerry was still alive, they probably maybe would have at least considered something. Maybe not all year, but like for the fair or something.
For the fair would be great. I mean, they did the didn't they did the shoot, what the hell, the rodeo train that they used to do with 844.
Mm-hmm. And they did fair specials on, I think, NS in like the 80s. But
yeah,
that's the 80s.
See, trains are just great for events in general. I mean, trains are great, period. But trains are really good for events because It's a huge amount of people going to a place or from a place all at the same time, right? And
Hmm.
boy, if there's a use
Did,
case for trains, it's that. Aside
yeah,
from everything else.
yeah. But officials in Johnson County, Iowa, are considering to do a pop-up metro service between North Liberty and Iowa City on the Krandick Railroad.
The what railroad?
The Krandick, baby.
Randick.
You heard me. That's the Cedar Rapids and Iowa City Railway.
Okay. The Krandick Railroad,
The-
eh? We were on the way home,
Yeah.
or we were not on the way home. I say on the way home because we were on the train while we were discussing this. We were on the way home, home being Sheepscot, and talking about Hinckley locomotives. Because the original, not BRBL, the original Bill Ricka and Bedford, Forneys, aka Ariel and Puck, which became the first railroads of the first locomotives of the Sandy River up in Maine, they were Hinckley built. There are two surviving Hinckley engines. One is an 042, or sorry, a 420. My bad. It's a 420. It looks like a Norris.
420.
The other one was a Santa Fe 440 named HC Hardon. That was converted by the Santa Fe shops into a 280, and it survives in Oklahoma City. And I'm not sure if that's at the museum that Pat is going to be volunteering at, but if it is, oh my god, I need him to take a photo of the builder's plate. For those who don't know, Hinckley Locomotive Works was in downtown Boston. So, it's one of these, it's a very, very old builder. But yeah.
I want to look this up.
Yeah, no, Hinckley is neat, and the locomotive that survives, I mean, it just looks like a normal consolidation. But I love the pop-up metro concept. I feel like people have sort of clowned on it a little bit for being like, well, yeah, they supply the trains, that's like the least of what you need for a metro. But the fact that they can just rock up with a BMU and be like, yeah, get on the train. I think it's a neat concept. I don't know, I don't know if it's ever properly led to anything, but it's only been done a handful of times. And what, they operate out of, or no, they were being used at, like in Rock Hill, or they were being tested in Rock Hill or something.
I think that's where they have their demonstration, their their demo line.
Gotcha.
They use the trolley museum track for that.
So they can have officials come out and look at the rail cars before they show up on site with them and say, like, this is what you're getting for your money.
Yeah, they're remanufactured British multiple unit cars.
BMUs. Honestly,
Yes.
BMUs are, if there's any use case for them, a pop-up metro seems like a really good one, because if I can think of, I'm not sure I can think of any kind of rail car that would require less infrastructure. Even like a DMU, you've got to get the fuel for. And that doesn't strike me as being altogether that hard. But the idea that you can roll up with you can roll up with something and then just plug it into the wall.
Yeah.
Speaking of electrics, though.
Yeah.
Put up the
Caltrain.
dying wires.
Well, yeah, but let's talk about a company or a place that did do that, and that's Caltrain. They just started, I think yesterday or the day before, they soft launched I think it was yesterday, their new electric system. They've started now running Stadler EMUs, which is really peak-in based, and
I'd like to shout out someone near and dear to me that works at the Caltrain, at the Stadler facility in Salt Lake City. His name is Ellis. He's a real G. He gave us a tour. I hope he still works there because he was pretty cool.
that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
I hate to tell you.
Oh my God,
The-
Alice! I just had a good idea for trading cards.
Go on.
A Stadler badge.
Hmm.
That would be pretty fire.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the transit nerds.
Yes. I mean, we were thinking about what would a helper card for the Model T rail bus at the WWF be like, and I went, well, we can include a stat that I haven't yet included on any card: seating capacity.
That'd be fun.
You want to know what gets me about Caltrain here? It's pointed out in this article. They're replacing 20 diesel locomotives. 20. That's it. It's Caltrain.
Wow.
I figured they had dozens. It said 19 new 7-car double-decker trains. These will replace 20 diesel locomotives. I thought they had a gazillion.
No, they don't have that many.
Yeah.
And they
thought so
still
too.
have
Wow.
diesels. They're just getting rid of a few of them.
Yeah, well, they're
They're
listed
getting rid
on
of their
their...
F40s.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll show up in Metro, like, within the decade, but...
No, they have to, because it's California and their emissions laws require that the prime mover be completely disabled.
damn,
to be
well,
They have to be scrapped or disabled,
That
which is kind of fair.
that explains why
They
they're
gotta drill
selling
the
them
block,
on their on the Caltrain gift shop website.
ran when parked. Man,
Me
I mean,
showing
it
up
makes
with
sense though.
it does.
I mean, it's fair. I think they target the wrong thing with those rules, but I can understand why they are rules.
Yeah, we have some articles
Why they
about
exist.
we have some articles about sort of opinions on CARB, which, like, of any state in the union, California is naturally doing the most to target vehicles that have carbon emissions and try to force the railroads to do something. We always talk about, well, the technology, blah, 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 like, it's there, but the railroads would never do it because it doesn't help them out. We have to, like, make the government force the railroads to do it. And so California's doing that, and then people are mad.
Well, I just don't think the solution is forcing railroads to have zero emissions locomotives. That's not that they contribute to such a minor amount of the emissions. It's so just kind of meaningless to me. I feel like
Well, you got to start
No,
somewhere. You got to
you
you got
can
to
definitely
attack
target
it.
other things first.
No, you target what you can target. I don't disagree, but that's not like they aren't, that's not like there aren't pushes for green energy, or incentives for electric cars, or incentives for putting solar panels on your house, or
I'd like it better if it was, if I'm just all I think about when I see this stuff is like hydrogen locomotives and battery locomotives and all.
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's
Like I'm like not sure how I feel about this thing, but if there were language in there, it was like, and must be replaced with like I don't know, like a proven method of
like
I like
electrification. But even electrification,
something like
we don't
that.
have the power grid infrastructure to support electrification.
well, then
not
they've
even
got to
close.
do that.
But that's
You can't just say
I just don't think
it's a
there's any
catch-22.
way to realistically phase out diesel locomotives. I mean, in the next 10 years, there's just not.
I mean, I think there is definitely a way. You just have to invest in it and do it. It's like other countries have done it. I mean, like maybe it takes 15 instead of 10, but
well, I think
I mean,
CARB,
sure,
CARB gives the companies like 30 years. The current legislation, and the fact of the matter is, as we've seen with railroads that have put up the dang wires, at least back in the day, they usually did the infrastructure thing as they went, and it's not necessarily it's not necessarily equivalent everywhere, right? But the B&M, when they electrified the Hoosick Tunnel, they sought out power sources and they built their power source. The same thing happened on the Milwaukee Road, and I have little doubt the same thing happened in a similar way on the Pennsylvania, and on like every trolley company ever.
But where
Uh,
are you going to get that power though? Like, where is that power? How are you going to generate that power?
how
I mean,
build
without
more power
just
plants.
offsetting the emissions to the power plant.
well build
Hydroelectric.
yeah build solar,
And
build
build-
hydro, build wind,
Yeah,
build
build a nuclear power
build
plant.
nuclear. Like do something.
I mean,
There are solutions to this.
Isn't the Paris's high speed rail powered off of a nuclear plant or something like that?
Yeah, I
I
think all the French TGV is nuclear.
I mean,
I
nuclear is
think.
like the only sustainable option realistically because I mean, solar and wind are great, but they don't generate the power needed consistently enough
mean, so
to.
don't solar and wind generate like more power annually than coal does now in the U.S.?
Yeah, but they don't
Which
generate it consistently enough
right,
because
but you
of
can
how
compensate
it
for that.
fluctuates.
You can build.
You could compensate with that for like with like a nuclear power plant, but
No,
they don't.
nuclear power isn't a great pair to solar and wind because nuclear power takes a long time to turn up and turn down, relatively speaking. You can get the best backup, in my opinion, is hydro, where when you have more power than you need, you pump water into the reservoir. You pump
Well,
water back up the hill.
the problem with hydro is that it's horrible for the environment and horrible for the ecosystems in the water, and
That is
they're
true.
really they're actually really terrible for the environment. And I don't think hydroelectric is a solution at all because you build the what are you going to build the dam out of? Concrete. Concrete's terrible for the environment.
Okay,
It
so don't
emits a
build
lot of
anything.
CO2.
You're gonna have to build all this stuff anyway. What are you gonna build the nuclear power plant out of? Oh well, it's concrete. Can't build it. I'm sorry to be a minge about it, but it's just you can't shoot down every potential because it has detractors. Everything has detractors.
I don't think hydroelectric is a solution. I think it's too damaging to a local environment to be worth it in any case.
Well, the
Um,
thing with using
I
hydro as pumped storage is you don't have to do it over an existing river. You just need a geological formation where you can store water in it. You don't necessarily have to be damming a large river and expecting to pull water from that, because the point of hydro as pumped, power storage, because batteries are not, batteries have their own problems. It is a store of effectively gravitational potential energy by pumping water uphill. And so you actually probably don't necessarily want to have that on a large river because then that's even more to manage. Like, I agree with you, we shouldn't just be throwing dams down on top of every little river and stream. But I think that, when you bring the question of green energy to the forefront and you're talking about hydro or when you're talking about solar and wind, which are inconsistent, you need your solution is energy storage, and that's probably the most effective way that I can think of to do it. Otherwise, like heating up giant blocks of salt is another one that I've heard, because they retain heat very well, and then you can use that heat later.
There are power plants in like the desert that do that. There's one
Yeah.
off I-15 in Vegas.
Well, also just like it doesn't have to be any one thing that does it. Like it can be.
I
a
mean, that is
combination of
true.
everything. Like we don't like there doesn't have to be a one size fits all solution. Like every little project is going to have. I mean, like I'm sure when like didn't the New Haven or Amtrak or whoever put up like all kinds of new infrastructure in the 80s when they electrified New Haven to Boston?
I would imagine they had to.
Like I'm assuming people were like, "Oh, it's too expensive. Like they can't build new infrastructure. Like where are they going to get the power? Like are they going to take it off the local grid or whatever?" Like complaining about that when they tried to do that. Like I know it's on a smaller scale, but like these kind of things, like I feel like they just come up every time, and then once it's built, everybody's like, "Oh, this is pretty cool."
Yeah, and I know I
I
harp
just-
on this a lot, but we can't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? Like, if what we've been saying for the longest time is, well, the railroads are never going to reduce their emissions and become more efficient by electrifying because it doesn't benefit their short-term like gains, so therefore we have to push the government into pushing the railroads into doing it, and then they do it, and we say, well, not like that.
I feel like there are much more important things in fighting climate change than making railroads reduce emissions. I feel like there are much larger polluters
Okay, but the
that
thing
should
is
be
that
addressed.
it's not just like let's do this piece like that's the thing like with a comprehensive energy policy when you like reshape the grid to be a green grid, you would be doing the thing that would allow you to also electrify the train, or it would allow you to build hydropower plants in lakes or whatever. I don't
You're
whatever,
gonna,
however it works. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like it's not just like, oh, we need to build the nuclear power plants and the solar grid and the wind farms for electrification. Like we need to do that to get off of fossil fuels. So like it all happens as a like it needs to be like a whole big wide scoping process. It's not just,
Also, we're not
oh
talking about
well,
all
we
the other
shouldn't.
things. You know, we're here talking about electrifying trains, right? I feel like if we
I
want,
don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with electrifying. There's not. And I think that other things need to be addressed first, and making railroads electrify and go to battery is probably not the best plan.
well, nobody's making them go to battery. The railroads are deciding on doing that because it's the lowest infrastructure cost, and I agree that you might be able to. You could button up the regulation a little bit more, but I personally don't think there's anything wrong with hydrogen. I like that as a solution if we can make it work.
But it doesn't. It is hard to get to work.
It is hard, but
And tried 100 times and it's not worked once.
well, things only have to work once. I think that I like that as a way forward if we can figure it out. I recognize the fact that we have not yet, but I think it's worth continued exploration because if we can make it work, it's going to be easier on every level, basically. But in the meantime, put up the dang wires. Like, let's not twiddle our thumbs, right? Let's make gains where we can. We came in here talking about Caltrain. You wanted to talk about Caltrain, and that's a good thing. Like, it might not be a huge, like, California spanning change, right? But the fact, they were able to electrify Caltrain, they haven't had, blackouts or brownouts because of it. They've managed. They've figured it out. In the time it took them to build and test all of this electrification, they were able to work the kinks out and make it, and address the problems that come with more things drawing from the grid.
Well, the problem with that, though, is it's a lot easier also to run. It requires a lot less energy to run a passenger train than it does a full freight train
Right,
full of stuff.
But you understand what I'm saying, right?
I do.
These things take
I do,
time,
but
and along that time, you solve the problems as you go. You can't just wait until all the problems are solved to start attempting a solution. You have to push forward and squash the bugs as they come up. It's not going to be the end of the world if the rollout has problems, right? And yeah, sure, people are going to clown on it. People clowned on PTC. People clowned on this and that. People probably made fun of the internal combustion engine. I'm sure you can go back and find reports of people thinking that there was no way that rolling out diesels was ever going to work. I think I think that we have to make the gains where we can, and if the energy,
I just don't agree that starting with something that is such a small portion of emissions, and honestly is probably better emissions wise than most other options like trucks. I don't feel like starting with that is the best solution.
But CARB is holistic.
You know what I think they should start with?
What?
Congestion
What's that?
pricing.
Yeah, congestion.
I do think
appreciate
starting
it,
with
TJ.
something like trucks or cars or farm emissions or stuff like that actually produces a significant amount of the emissions in this country is a lot more important than starting with something that arguably is much better for the environment to begin with.
Well, but it's still not good, number one, so eliminating it helps, even if it is a small amount. And two, that's already happening. Like, we're not talking about the big picture, but the big picture is there. And CARB, is addressing trucking and passenger cars, and there are already, like I said, subsidies for putting up, solar panels on your house and stuff like that. There are other things addressing these. We can't sit and wait for all of those things to go through to address another aspect of it. We should be coming at this problem from all angles wherever we can, and not putting one on pause because we can't get the other ones done yet. Otherwise, everything's going to sit on the back burner and nothing's ever going to change. And I'm very happy that Caltrain has made this transition and is proving that it's possible to make the transition, proving that it's possible to go from, a traditional diesel-powered commuter service to a modernized, electrified, electric multiple unit arrangement, which is in line with, what is often seen around the rest of the world, and is seen in some places in the U.S. where we already have stuff like that, like New York City.
I also want to say, there's one final point about the Caltrain thing. I think it's
The
pretty
Caltrain
cool
train. Oh,
because-
sorry. My bad.
I think it's pretty cool because this is also a big milestone for California high-speed rail,
That is true.
because this is the shared corridor for California high-speed rail. So this is a pretty decent section of their line that's now ready to go.
Yes.
And I know it doesn't
Mhm.
get covered that way, but this is like a main, like this, like California high-speed rail is happening. It's not a cool viaduct or anything like that, but like this is
They're
a
gonna
this
do
is a
it.
step that you can see and it's working.
We're
Yeah.
still probably 15 years away from 20 years away from a completion of CAHSR, but
But this is a step.
I
in
mean,
the right
it's
direction,
something. I mean, I don't disagree. It's something. It's a little something, but it's something.
I'll
You don't have
throw.
to be pessimistic about it. It's cool.
It is cool. I'm not disagreeing that it is awesome.
Let's see. I think there were a couple of CAS California High Speed. If I see any California High Speed articles in our big list here, I'll throw it in the cargoes for everyone to look at too. Because yeah, they've been making steady progress. It hasn't been very exciting. This is probably the most exciting thing. It's like, oh, there's an operational section of what California High Speed will run on. But the exciting parts, the really fast parts are, just sort of making slow but steady progress out there in the valley. I know Horizon almost got on today. I'm sure he would have been able to talk about how California's doing. I am so hesitant because we just spent so much time on that, which was a great discussion. And I appreciate it. I'm so hesitant to jump into the congestion pricing because it's another one that I want to talk about. So while I'm all worked up, I'm going to talk about Penn Station for a sec, and we'll come down to congestion pricing. We'll do congestion pricing another time, which is so. There's an article, and this is in Trains Mag, which is official. And I didn't get to read the whole thing, but it just set me off. So we've talked about Penn Station in the past. We've talked about the operations at Penn Station in the past. And there are some problems that can't be addressed operationally. You'd have to tear up the platforms and rearrange stuff to make stuff really work better. But
Okay.
there's conversation, right? There's conversation about through running, about forcing the New Jersey Transit and Metro North and Long Island Railroad to get their act. Long Island Railroad less so because they're third rail, but to make the various commuter agencies work together and not use Penn Station as a terminal where trains are spending their time there empty. Obviously, operationally, this helps because you don't have one train pulls in, offloads all its passengers, then leaves to go to the yard, and then the other train pulls in from the other direction, empty from the yard, loads all its passengers. That's two moves. You could do it in one. Train comes in, offloads, onloads, leaves. Right? That's less time. Right? It is going to
Yeah.
take a lot of political pressure to get the Long Island Railroad and Metro North, New Jersey Transit and Metro North to work together at all. Long Island Railroad is an aside as well. That's a horse of different color, but still, it's going to take a lot of political pressure to make this happen. Why? Because they don't want to work with one another. because there are long-standing, like 200-year-old rivalries between these, you know, these companies that used to be the New York Central and Pennsylvania, right? And also because there's just the operational, organizational momentum that it's like we're doing the things we're doing right now. Why do we need to change them? They say that the service from the service through Penn Station, particularly New Jersey to Penn Station, needs to be doubled at least, and the through running or hybrid configurations within the footprint of the existing station fall short of this goal. And that's fair, right? That's fair. I recognize the fact that you cannot shove an extra 24 trains an hour into Penn Station and just expect it to work, even if they are through running. But we need to strike while the iron is hot. We need to, if there is any conversation about combining all the services together and making it so that you can one-seat ride from New Jersey to New Haven, other than on Amtrak, we need to make sure that's possible. We need to make sure that happens. We need to not let off the gas, because they're not going to want to do it. They don't want to do it. We can't let there be a gap in the armor of pressure to get these agencies to work together. Let's fix the one problem and then fix the next problem. Either way, we need the through running. It needs to happen. Then you need to do more, but you need to do the through running. So there's my rant. I apologize for that. That's just been bouncing around in my head for the last few days ever since I saw this article. Y'all are welcome to make commentary on it, but that's where my head's at. But what was the congestion pricing is a whole thing. I see that there are no takers on the through running at Penn Station conversation. I apologize.
I don't know what to really say.
I don't blame you. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, do it.
I'm sure, yes. What we need to do is just nationalize all the railroads.
Mm-hmm.
That would work.
Well, the problem is these are already government agencies, and they're still being problematic.
Bigger government agencies.
Yeah, one big union or whatever.
Conrail 2.
TJ, where did you put the other articles you had up there?
Oh yeah, sorry. I meant to put them back in that thing.
I'll put them back. But you just want to... Yeah, if we're talking about railroads being son of a guns, there's no reason not to talk about the current lawsuit between... well, is it Amtrak, or is it like the DOJ on behalf of Amtrak or something like that?
Yeah, it's filed today. Yeah, it's filed in New York District Court. Yeah, I think it's the Justice Department.
Which
Yeah. Yep.
Which this is against NS for delaying the Crescent, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It says that they broke federal law that requires freight railroads to give priority to Amtrak, as required by statute. It leads to delays that harm and inconvenience passengers, impede rail transportation, and negatively affect Amtrak's financial performance.
Yeah, it's about damn time on this, right? Does anyone else feel that? Because I feel that.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting because later in the article, it mentions something that I didn't know about. It says the move by the Justice Department is in marked contrast to the other ongoing action regarding on-time performance for an Amtrak long-distance train. In that case, regarding the New Orleans to Los Angeles Sunset Limited, Amtrak requested an investigation by the Surface Transportation Board into the train's on-time performance in December 2022, a first-of-its-kind complaint under a provision of the Passenger Rail Investment and Improvement Act of 2008. But
Oh.
that complaint is moving at an extremely slow pace,
Wow.
at least in part because the STB is essentially inventing its procedures for dealing with such matters. There have been some as of July 24th, 2024. There have been some 119 filings and decisions in the Sunset case, and the railroads involved have received a number of deadline extensions in the board's fact-finding process. So it's like this is the first time that they're doing something, and it's like actually getting traction, I think, which is very nice to see.
That is nice
like
to
you
see.
said.
We finally have like unusually favorable conditions within the administration that allow such a complaint to matter, right? It's not like Amtrak being shafted by freight railroads is new. Like there's a reason these provisions exist, and it's not just because they decided to add them for fun. I'm glad to see that they're being taken advantage of, and honestly, the fact that this is going through the Department of Justice is it's a straight to the point one, right? It's like, hey, there's this law that we've never bothered to enforce, but it's there, and you're breaking it.
Yeah, they've always had the authority to enforce it, but they've only filed a suit once against SP in 1979.
Oh my god. Damn, get wrecked, SP. Oh, Julius, how do you feel?
Yeah, well, the case was dropped after
Devastated.
service improved.
I'm
So.
devastated.
Well, that's good. That's you know what, TJ? I think that's an acceptable result, and in fact, possibly the best result.
Yeah.
It's hey, we're gonna bring the law. We're gonna bring the law. Okay, all right, we'll make it better. But it's good to see that this is finally getting used, because I don't know how many times we've talked about the existence of the Amtrak has to be prioritized by freight railroads. That's what the law says, but they don't do it, and no one just has the balls to like go after the class ones.
Well, it's interesting because someone from NS was like, "Oh, I feel like they're singling out NS when all the railroads are having trouble meeting their on-time performance goals." And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, like, you got to take one of you guys to court to prove the point to the other ones, right?
Yeah, I feel like they probably picked the worst one, right? Or at least the one that was being the most annoying right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel, or the one that has the worst public image, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess you could sue all the class ones at once, but like, why not go after the one you think you could win?
Yeah, no, that's very fair. I didn't even think about like NS is the bad guy, right? They've had a long series of being a problem in the last few years, especially with East Palestine and all that jazz. So, yeah, their public image is at an all-time low.
Yeah, and then just like one more point to it. Pete Buttigieg says he supports the DOJ,
Damn
and
right. That's Mayo Pete
he
right there.
he mentioned that the public wants more and more reliable Amtrak service. Many people realize that sometimes when Amtrak is running late, it's no fault of Amtrak. It's because someone has gotten in their way. That has to stop, and we will do everything we can to encourage it and enforce it until it does.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate this, and I hope this lawsuit does something. Whether it goes all the way through and it causes problems for NS, or NS relents and makes things better for the Crescent. Whatever the solution is, I'm looking forward to a solution. And so now we'll return to New Jersey, or New York, and, well, West New York.
Have to?
What'd you say?
I said, do we have to return to New Jersey?
Yeah, no, well, no, but there's Steam though. There's Steam,
Well, it's
and
in New York. Yeah, if it's in New
Yankee,
York, I guess. Yeah.
I know you haven't been able to jump in on any of these discussions. I want you to know that the floor is completely open to you, but now it's all yours. What's going on with New York, Susquehanna, and Western number 142, the other SY?
Yes. So 142 has recently been, or well, yeah, I'd say recently. Yeah, recently been spotted outside of the shops at, I don't know, somewhere in New Jersey.
They're at
Uh,
the Belldale,
yeah.
the Belvedere
But
in
yeah,
Delaware.
she's uh recently taken out. She's been undergoing a mandated 1472 rebuild. I believe she's been down since 2017, so starting to reach the tail end of that. She was taken out for 2 days for a steam test,
Nice.
and I believe, by the sounds of it, all went well. She did not
Sweet.
move under her own power yet. I believe there were still some bits of valve gear and rods and whatnot that have to reappear, but she's in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they said that, or they did not say, but I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark here and say that she might be back up by the end of the year.
I would hope so. I think, if I remember right, uh, this is going to be like New Jersey's return to steam. Like, I don't think they have a functional steam locomotive right now, because I don't think
I was
Blackbird's
gonna say,
60s.
Well, I think
I think
there's, I
60's
wasn't there
down, right?
also. There's also SMS number 9,
Oh, I forgot about SMS number 9.
Oh,
or is it 9?
I think it is 9.
yeah,
I think it's 9.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
I think it's 9. Okay.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
they have
numbers,
that. Although that's not really in operation right now. It works, but I think they're still painting and whatnot.
yeah, it'll be, looking forward to some steam coming back. At 9, I know, has been in and out. It's an interesting locomotive.
Yeah.
But 142, I didn't realize that 142 was numbered that, because it's 2 above the last Susquehanna 282.
Yep. And the first one sank.
Yeah.
Or 141 sank.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
they bought an
because
SY and it was gonna be 141, and then it sank, so they got another
and then
SY.
yeah, that was one of the things where yeah, it was that was one of the things I saw. It was just like, oh man, that is kind of fun. And I did the fact that they still acknowledge that 141 did exist at some point and
Yeah.
probably still exists somewhere like the Atlantic is kind of fun.
Yeah, we need to find the wreck.
but-
We need to raise 141.
I believe that's right. Yes. So they purchased 141 new, I believe. Yeah, they purchased her new from, I think it's Tankshin Locomotive Works is how you pronounce it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she sank, and so they bought 142 from Essex.
Yeah.
She was purchased from Essex. She used to be 1647, I believe.
And then Essex bought the
And-
locomotive from the Knox and Kane that had been in the Roundhouse
Yep.
fire, and that's why they were able to modify it so heavily, or that gave them the opportunity to. And now we have 3025.
Yeah. Now we have 3025.
Anyway,
But yeah, very, very interesting. I'm excited to. I might have to finally take a trip down to New Jersey and go see Steam.
yeah. You could see both of the SYs in a weekend, and then you could get on take a boat out to the middle of the ocean, put on your scuba suit, and go visit the third one. You know
A
what's
little diving exploration.
You know what's even funnier is that since they bought 141 new, that locomotive has never run. It
Yeah.
probably ran at the
Yes.
factory, and then they loaded it on a boat, and it never ran again. It's never pulled a paying anything.
It was thinking it was going, damn it.
It said, "I don't want to work. I don't want to go to work," and it jumped.
I mean, mood, but
Damn.
I'm feeling tired. I mean, it did take a nap on the
It-
bed.
It's currently sleeping with the fishes.
it was a snitch.
We don't know who.
She owed the mob money.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know who 141 crossed, but it wasn't good. Anyway,
This was a warning.
this
to
is a
the,
the other 3025 is next. That's actually why 3025 is dressed up as a dressed up as a New Haven engine. It's in the witness protection program.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Ah! All right. We're gonna. We actually did make up all of the time here. Hold on. Hey, O'Gillies. Is O'Gillies back?
O'Gillies has been back. O'Gillies never left.
Oh, okay. I thought O'Gillies left.
No.
Well, it does say you did say back, which implies that you left, but that was a while ago. No, we do have an extra 4 minutes if you wanted to talk about anything else. Hint.
Ballsack.
Remember at the beginning of the show when you wanted to talk about 2 things and I said pick one?
Oh shit.
And
Oh
then-
yeah. Don't be like that kid who decided he wanted to derail a train. Just don't derail a train.
Yeah.
Don't flip a switch. Don't get anywhere near railroad property. Make sure you're staying 30 feet back at all times.
Don't become a domestic terrorist. Also,
Yeah.
Yes.
or they will push you
That
off a
usually
barge in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. Probably not the wisest.
Yeah, no, just in general, like, goddamn, like, you know what's crazy to me about that is that we probably reported on that wreck, just like, normal wreck, wow, that's crazy, because so many wrecks are videoed these days. It's kind of weird that this episode we didn't have one that was caught on video, because usually it's like someone's crappy dash cam footage, but it's something, or like a security camera hanging off of a 7-Eleven that catches, friggin' a CSX Q369 slam into the side of a FedEx truck. Like, everything is videoed, and it didn't even register, and it's like, oh, it was suspicious, and they've looked into it, and now it's very clear that there's a
some
reason
dumbass.
it was suspicious.
Yeah. Some idiot.
Yeah, don't do that. Just, like, and doubly don't do that, not only because don't do that, but because it makes things worse for the rest of us. And, like, it makes things worse because when O'Gillies and I get caught walking through the Hoosick Tunnel, they're going to think that we're there to, like, blow it up.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Well, no, but we aren't going to do that. Like, we aren't going to blow it up
In Minecraft.
in any case.
In Minecraft, I have a reputation to protect.
Well, then, Jader, now it just sounds like you're covering for something. Do I need you? Do I need to
Roblox.
send you to talk with 141? You know what's really annoying? I don't even know where we put the articles on this. I put them back in the thing. Where'd they go? We had multiple articles on the derailment, and did O'Gillies, did they get put back in here? Or did they just get deleted?
I don't know. You were the one who moved them.
I thought I put them back in here. Oh wait, here they are.
I didn't.
This is, yeah, okay. Actually, I have different articles. I have articles that are different than the articles that we had before. So I'm going to put these in the cargoes. And that'll round out the end of the show with just like a general warning to, like, don't do crime. But, like, specifically don't do the crime that hurts trains, because we like trains. And we'd like you to not hurt them. Yeah, I don't actually have the... oh, there they are. There they are. I found them. It's right next to the thing about the 160 oil conversion, which there's a story about that because I was mightily confused. But that's also a thing. We'll talk about it in the future. We have to round out the show now. We're at time. I don't really know what I have for maintenance away on top of what I mentioned at the beginning of the show. We are going to be starting another series of Royales soon. Probably the voting is going to happen this week, and then we're going to start next week, voting on topics. It'll run to the end of September. Pretty sure that's how I timed it out. The next batch of trading cards will be in development within the next month or so. Hopefully we'll have them done by Christmas. The war will be over by Christmas. Fingers crossed that it goes better than the last batch, because God, did I want to commit acts of domestic terrorism against a railroad that no longer exists in Minecraft. The Arcata and Mad River is the bane of my existence. Anyway, and also, someday maybe I'll figure out all the stats for the 210-2 that the Minaret had, but whatever. Moving on. I need to just move on from that. I need to tell myself that it's okay to move on and let that go.
Yes.
Any advertisements, Jader? I already have the link to your to DurbanModelWorks.card in the cargoes here, so I know people will want to check you out. You've been doing a lot of great work, and of course showing off some of it at the top of the show. Does anyone have any other advertisements for their socials? Yankee, I know you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, so there's me, there's Flying Yankee Productions. I'm on YouTube. I have a Discord server, and I'm on Instagram.
All right. If you want to drop
But you can just link my YouTube channel, because my channel has also the links to the Discord and the Instagram.
wonderful. I will put that in the cargoes for you. And Jader, I know exactly what this is. Yes. And with that, we will move on to the penultimate segment, which is the latest train on Amtrak. Nobody look. Nobody look. Amtrak seems to be having a decent day today. Do not look at the Amtracker. I want to hear your guesses for latest train on Amtrak. Come on, hit me. Come on. Take a stab at the dark.
Sunset Limited.
Eastbound Sunset Limited. Ooh, we did talk about the Sunset Limited today. We also talked about the Crescent. Eastbound Sunset Limited to New Orleans. I see it. I've spotted it. Anybody else? TJ, O'Gillies, Yankee?
I'm gonna have to say Westbound Builder.
Westbound Builder. Builder's always a good guess.
Train 6.
Train 6. That is the eastbound California Zephyr. Yankee, what's your guess?
I want to say,
Could it be?
Is there a Westbound Zephyr?
There's a Westbound Zephyr. I'll pull that up. Actually, we can start with it.
Okay.
Westbound Zephyr, 20 minutes late at Ottumwa, Iowa. Is that near the pop-up metro?
It's in the same state.
Where's the pop-up metro?
I don't
again?
remember.
Somewhere in Iowa.
The California Zephyr to Emeryville. The other one, train number 5, is 9 minutes late at Green River, Utah. CC's doing pretty good in the westbound direction. Let's look at the eastbound direction. Eastbound direction is 16 minutes late at Reno, Nevada, and 1 hour and 19 minutes late at Fraser, Colorado. Honestly, pretty good all around. Eastbound Empire Builder, is that right? Or westbound? Who called for the Empire
Westbound,
Builder?
sorry,
Westbound. Okay. Westbound Empire Builder, train number 7, 20 minutes late at Shelby, Montana, and 14 minutes late at Toma, Wisconsin. I assume it's Toma.
Yeah, it's Toma.
Okay. Let's check on the Sunset Limited eastbound to New Orleans. Estimated 1 hour 23 minutes late at Alpine, Texas. And that's everyone's guesses. The latest train on Amtrak is the Southwest Chief to Los Angeles. Currently 2 hours and 22 minutes, but estimated 3 hours and 7 minutes late at Gallup, New Mexico.
Oh, that would
Honestly,
have been a good guess.
it is, yeah, it would have been a good guess. Honestly, it's kind of amazing. It's a really good day for Amtrak. The fact that there's only one train over 3 hours late. And yeah, okay, there are a lot of things a couple hours late, but that's, that's what you get. That's not a surprise. Honorable mention to the Coast Starlight to Seattle, 2 hours, 8 minutes late, as well as a couple of other ones. The only train in the black on the East Coast, Northeast Regional to Washington, 1 hour and 27 minutes late at Philadelphia. We didn't even talk about, it actually left New York an hour and a half late, so it's lost no time. It's just running behind schedule. We didn't talk about all the headaches on the Northeast Corridor lately. That's definitely going to be something. If we get Fort on the show, gonna need that man to talk about Northeast Corridor. Also, kind of glad he wasn't here for the rant about Penn Station, because I'm sure he would not be happy about about wanting to through run. I don't really blame him. Okay, Jader, you're number one to round out the show.
How did I get a point?
I don't remember, but I gave it to you at the very beginning of the podcast. Oh, it's because you said at the rail yard. I cut it out, but I still gave you a point for it.
No, I didn't say it. I was going to.
No, yeah, I know you were going to say it. Exactly. So you admit it.
No.
Damn. No.
Anyway, what is your termination?
I think Mason sent this in the chat a few days ago. It's our favorite podcast other than this one.
But you can be honest.
Animated.
Our favorite podcast, the first season of Well, There's Your Problem animated. I love it. I was watching this. I was watching the Meat Deck Crew bit in the Percival house with everyone.
The Meat Deck.
The Meat Deck Crew.
I
need a Meat Deck Crew T-shirt.
I really do want a shirt.
I want to. I know what my termination is going to be. Anyway, Yankee, what are your final words for this podcast? Doesn't have to be a link or anything.
Long live the Yankee.
Long live the Yankee. Yes, hear, hear.
Here, here.
We didn't even get to talk about the actual Yankee. But 3713 may have run the Flying Yankee once or twice. Anyway, O'Gillies?
I'm tired.
Yeah. Me too.
We all.
Me too, bud.
I'm having a rough day.
Yeah, I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
At least we're here. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we get to do this. I'm glad it went off without a hitch. TJ?
Oh my god, it's real.
What's real?
Yeah, I got the. Oh no, I'm messing up the links. Oh no.
Uh-oh. It worked.
There
It
we
worked.
go.
Like I copied it. It worked for me.
There we go. There's the two links.
Okay. Oh, there are two links.
Yes. Watch both of those. It's required.
Oh, is the second one what I think it is?
It's a short.
Oh, okay. I thought it was scenes from Maid. I love
I
that.
didn't plug that one.
I love that video so much.
That one too.
Yes, Meat Deck Crew T-shirt.
I'm so happy it's real.
Buy Well, There's Your Problem. God. Congratulations on your new position on the Meat Deck. And I'm going to say I am going to buy an F-40. And turn it into a time machine.
I'm just going to be pushed by Sierra Railroad number 3.
Well, yeah, you have to take the prime mover out to fit in all the time machine bits.
Yep. We got to fit the flux capacitor.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like a 10,000 farad flux capacitor. Haha, electrical engineering jokes. I'd like to thank everyone for coming on this show, making it a fun one. DJ's still trying to adjust links. I'll copy this one into clips of main. Replace with clips of main. Okay, I don't know why it won't let me replace this one. Oh, probably because it's a short. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for making this a lively episode. Lots of great discussion. And hopefully we'll see you in a couple weeks once again. Thanks to anyone who's stuck it out. And to who does this camera? Is this Southwest Rail Cams? No, it's San Diego Rail Cam. And of course to Stephen West. Without you we wouldn't have the loco base, we wouldn't have the trading cards. We'll see you all next week. And in case of an emergency, call Conrail. Goodbye.
Wait, wrong podcast.